Good morning, Year 4, and welcome to your last English session before half term. I can hear your shouts of excitement. But I am going to make you work hard today. You're going to do some writing for me. But before we start that, we're just going to have another quiz on apostrophes for possessions. So, how about this one? People's beliefs shape their way of thinking. People's beliefs shape their way of thinking. Do you think it's people apostrophe S, people's apostrophe S, or people's apostrophe after the S? You were right if you said people apostrophe S, because a singular would be person. You know that plural is people. People ends in an E, not an S, so we go apostrophe S. How about this one? The tiny mice feet tapped across the floorboards. Is it mices, or mice? Which one is it? Tricky, that one. Well done, because the plural of a mouse is mice, ends in an E, so we go apostrophe S. How about this one? Many of the children's toys were left out. Is that right or is that wrong? Has it been correctly punctuated? Many of the children's toys were left out. Have a think about that one. We've got this one down here. 2 witnesses' testimony stood out to the jury. Oh, witness. Have they done that right? Let's have a look. So, when we go back to children's, children ends in an N. Doesn't end in an S, so we go apostrophe S. So that should have been like that. Children's. Yes, witness ends in double S. So if you remember, if it ends in a double S, we add ES, which means the apostrophe will go after the S. How about this one? Witches' hats are usually pointed. Is that right or wrong? And this one down here. The table's legs were all wobbly and needed to be fixed. Have you hedged your bets? Okay, well done. Witches, because we've got singular, it's witch. Plural is witches. Ends in an S, so we need the apostrophe. Okay. Table. Now, table is one table. We're talking about lots of tables. So it would need to end in an S, so the apostrophe should go after the S. We will come back to that in Year 4 when you're back in class, so don't worry if that's still a little bit confusing, but hopefully you've learnt a few plural and possession words. So today your challenge is going to be to retell the film that we've been watching showing emotion. And there's a lot that's going to go into it, but nothing's new. It's all things that we've done before. You're going to retell the story. You're going to portray mood and excitement. You're going to use a range of grammar devices, including commas in the list. We've done that before. Question marks, exclamation marks, maybe brackets and commas. Subordinate and compound conjunctions in your compound and complex sentences. Short sentences for effect. Fronted adverbials, and start to use paragraphs. So I am going to let you watch the film again from the beginning, just to recap your memory.
think those are mine.
Now, whoever knew a washing machine was so big? Did you notice that the trees on the seaweed were made of buttons? And the octopus was made of like a jumper. I see new things every time I watch that video. So feel free to watch that as many times as you want while you're writing today. This slide here, and you've also got this in your resources today, just shows the story through pictures. So you can also have that in front of you to help you remember what happens. Now I have written a waggle, what a good one looks like, and I've also got my success criteria here. So this is the kind of thing I'm looking for, 3 paragraphs or so, okay? So it is a bit of a long write today. So I'm going to read it through, and then I'm going to start to look for my success criteria within the writing. Something fishy. Tiredly, the girl stared at the pages of her book. Why was washing so boring? Something caught her attention. A flash of colour. When she raised her eyes, she saw movement behind the misty glass of the washing machine. Without thinking, she opened the door and pressed her face against the cold chill of the water that hovered in front of her. She pressed onwards and felt her body move into the machine. She floated. Everywhere around her there was life. Sockfish, turtles, octopus and movement. The seaweed, green in colour, tickled her legs and she felt the woolen scales of the yellow shoals of fish. How had this happened? She couldn't believe it. The current of the water changed, and feeling a chill, she slowly turned around. Frozen with fear, she was faced with the dark, ominous, razor-sharp-toothed shark. Just fast as she could, she frantically retraced her steps. In the distance, just out of reach, she could see the light of the room she had come from. Would she reach it in time? Panic started to freeze her limbs, but she pushed onwards. Relief streamed through her body as she rolled out of the gushing water. Looking behind her, she stared in disbelief. Had this really happened? The only sign of her adventure was a pair of jeans hanging out of the washing machine. A deep voice boomed behind her. I think they are mine. As she turned to the direction of the voice, she rubbed her eyes. Was she dreaming? In front of her was a shark. So what I've done is I've retold the story. I've almost put words to it. So if you couldn't watch the film, you could still enjoy the story. It's got to be descriptive and it's got to have that suspense and that emotion. And the way we do that is by using some of these features here. So, have we used commas in a list? We did. They were here, sockfish, comma, turtles, comma, octopus, and movement. I've got that. Brilliant. Have I got questions? Now, I wonder if anybody can tell me what that question is called, how I've used it. If you said rhetorical question, yes. Had this really happened? So the rhetorical question is a question that you don't expect an answer from. You're asking the reader, but they're of course not going to answer you back. It just makes people think. There was another one here. Why was washing so boring? I've also got an exclamation mark. A flash of colour. But didn't expect that. Okay. Have we got any compound sentences? Remember, they just give some detail. So we did have a compound sentence. Panic started to freeze her limbs, but she pushed onwards. Okay. Short sentences for effect. Okay, so they're snappy. They really grab your attention. So here we had a flash of colour. And there are a couple of others. I wonder whether you can spot them. Complex sentences. There's quite a few in here. Let's have a look. When she raised her eyes, she saw movement behind the misty glass of the washing machine. So there I started with my subordinate clause. Okay. How about, what else have we got? I'm running out of colours. Fronted adverbials. Again, there's lots of those. Tiredly, I started with an adverb. Without thinking, telling me how she's doing it. And paragraphs, yes, I have got 3 paragraphs. I've got 1 setting up, 2 when she's in the washing machine, and 1 when she's out of the washing machine. Okay. And maybe you spotted the brackets as well that gave me extra information. Some of you might want to start to use those today. So, attached with your resources today, you have a sheet of pictures to help you follow the story through. Of course, you have the link on your daily plan for the video. You can watch that too. You have here just a set of instructions. So, Sapphire Challenge, you are writing a sentence to describe each picture. Bronze, there's your success criteria. Silver, there's your success criteria. And gold, you've got your own success criteria there as well. You also have attached, if in case you want to print it out, you have the waggle with the 3 paragraphs that have been modelled for you. We cannot wait to see your stories. I'm so excited. Enjoy it, have fun writing it, and we will see you after half term.